On a quiet November night in 1974, 6 family members were found shot to death inside a suburban Long Island home, 113 Ocean Avenue, later infamous for horrors far stranger than crime scene tape could explain. Across America and beyond, 10 ordinary houses became the focus of police files, lawsuits, and whispered legends. Each address is linked by one question: can fear itself leave a stain that history cannot scrub away? Tonight we trace the chilling, documented origins of the world's most disturbing haunted house stories and consider what is fact, what is legend, and what still waits in the dark. A single row of houses on Ocean Avenue, Long Island, became the site of one of America's most infamous crimes. On November 13, 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. used a .35 caliber rifle to murder his parents, 2 brothers, and 2 sisters as they slept. The official police report logged 6 victims, each found face down in their beds, and the Suffolk County coroner's inquest confirmed the cause of death as gunshot wounds. DeFeo confessed the following day. His words remain preserved in the court transcript from March 1975. Headlines in the Long Island press called it a family massacre. The house stood empty for over a year, its dark reputation growing long before any talk of ghosts. Hundreds of miles to the west, in the small town of Villisca, Iowa, another house holds a different kind of silence. On June 10, 1912, 8 people, Josiah and Sarah Moore, their 4 children, and 2 young guests, were killed in their beds with an axe. The Iowa State Police homicide file contains coroner sketches and crime scene diagrams, but no suspect was ever charged. The case remains unsolved, the evidence frozen in time. Newspaper headlines from the Des Moines Register the next morning spoke of a mystery that would haunt Villisca for generations. Both houses, separated by decades and distance, became more than crime scenes. They became places where violence lingers in the walls and shadows, waiting for stories to take root. In 1990, the Bennett family's complaints drew police to their Atchison, Kansas home. Their daughter spoke of a girl named Sally. Officers logged unexplained scratches on walls, and pediatric notes recorded bruises and pain with no clear cause. Inspections found nothing amiss, yet the story of Sally, a child in a white dress, spread quickly, despite no trace of her in earlier records. In Louisiana, the Myrtles Plantation's past is marked by the 1931 hanging death of Charles Myrtle, a 19-year-old worker. The coroner's file lists homicide, and court documents show the owner's admission and a civil suit. Older slave ledgers reveal the plantation's deeper scars. Chloe, a figure from local legend, is said to leave handprints on mirrors, but historians find no evidence of her in the records. Near Houston, tragedy struck the Black Hope subdivision in 1998 when Janelle Cruz was found dead. Her case remains unsolved. Homeowners Association minutes from 1999 reflect fear and rumors, unexplained lights, giggling children, doors opening, while some residents blamed unmarked graves and others pointed to media-driven panic. In West Pittston, Pennsylvania, the Smurl family's house drew police again and again between 1975 and the early 1980s. Officers responded to reports of guttural growls, furniture shifting, and doors slamming, yet found no evidence of intruders. Medical records from Geisinger Hospital document Betty Smurl's mounting stress and John Smurl's chronic insomnia. The disturbances caught the attention of Ed and Lorraine Warren, whose investigation notes describe cold spots, physical attacks, and a presence they labeled malevolent. Betty recounted being shoved to the floor by something unseen, while skeptics pointed to psychological strain or environmental causes. The official record, police logs, hospital notes, and the Warrens' field reports remain unresolved. Further north, the Hinsdale House in New York stands as a preserved witness to an older mystery. In July 1938, Evelyn Hinsdale was found strangled in her bedroom, and the Nassau County homicide file lists one suspect who was never charged. Later, residents spoke of chills, footsteps, and the scent of old perfume. Samuel Klein, a tenant in the 1990s, described the sensation of a hand on his shoulder when he was alone. The house, now maintained by a nonprofit, keeps its cold case open and its stories alive. In 1820, Tennessee court records captured the Bell family's sworn accounts. Voices in the dark, objects hurled, bruises from unseen hands. The Tennessee State Archives hold these depositions, including the claim that an invisible force ended John Bell's life. No physical trace remains, but the testimony endures, part legal record, part legend. In New Orleans, January 10, 1834, fire swept through Madame LaLaurie's mansion. The official fire department report describes rescuers finding enslaved people chained and starved in hidden attic rooms. Neighbors testified before the Louisiana Supreme Court, and the New Orleans Bee published their words. Cold spots and shadowy figures became part of the story, but the suffering in those records is undeniable. In Enfield, North London, the 1970s brought a different disturbance. From 1977 to 1979, police logs and coroner's transcripts documented dozens of calls from the Hodgson family. Furniture toppled, heavy knocks echoed, and investigators recorded hours of strange voices on tape, sometimes through the youngest daughter. The British Library preserves these tapes, leaving the truth suspended between haunting and history. Every locked door and flickering light reminds us. Tonight, the line between memory and haunting remains thin. Sleep well if you can.